Have you ever wondered what would happen if we nuked Mars? Quite a provocative question, isn't it? Yet it's one that tickles the curiosity of scientists, space enthusiasts, and even the average Joe. Why? Because in a universe full of mysteries, this one's a real brain teaser. It toys with our understanding of cosmic bodies, the power of nuclear weapons, and the potential consequences of such an extreme action. So, what would really happen if we detonated a nuclear bomb on Mars? Let's dive into the science behind this. Imagine a nuclear bomb detonating on Mars. What do you think would happen immediately? Just as on Earth, a nuclear explosion on Mars would create a massive crater, instantly vaporizing a significant portion of the Martian surface. This violent event would release enormous amounts of energy in the form of heat and light, scarring the red planet's surface with a fresh, gaping wound. Alongside this, a burst of intense radiation would pulse outwards from the blast site. This radiation, potentially harmful to any future explorers or colonists, would permeate the Martian atmosphere and surface, much like the after-effects of a nuclear disaster here on Earth. But the shock waves don't stop there. The explosion would also kick up vast quantities of dust and debris, dispersing them far and wide across the Martian landscape. This fallout could cloud the planet's thin atmosphere for months, maybe even years. But the immediate effects are just the start. Let's explore what would happen next. The long-term effects of a nuclear explosion on Mars would be far more significant. Let's take a moment to imagine the aftermath of such an event, far beyond the initial shock and awe. We're talking about effects that could last for centuries, even millennia, fundamentally altering the face of the Martian landscape and possibly its climate. One of the most immediate long-term effects would be the spread of radiation across the planet. This isn't like a localized nuclear accident on Earth. We're talking about a planet-wide event. The radiation would be carried by the Martian winds, spreading the radioactive fallout across the entirety of Mars. It's a rather grim picture, isn't it? And speaking of the climate, a nuclear explosion could potentially thicken Mars's thin atmosphere. The heat from the explosion would vaporize a large amount of the planet's polar ice caps, releasing vast quantities of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. This could trigger a greenhouse effect, raising the planet's temperature. However, this change might not be permanent. Over time, Mars's weak gravity and lack of a magnetic field could cause this newly thickened atmosphere to slowly leak away into space. But what about life on Mars? While we have yet to find definitive proof of life on the red planet, we can't rule out the possibility. A nuclear explosion could wipe out any existing microbial life, and the lingering radiation could make the planet inhospitable for future life, either Martian or earthly. And let's not forget about us humans. Any dreams of manned missions to Mars, or establishing a permanent human settlement would be seriously jeopardized. The high levels of radiation would pose a significant risk to human health, and the altered climate could make survival even more challenging. So, as we can see, the long-term effects of nuking Mars would be significant and far-reaching. They could potentially alter the Martian climate, spread deadly radiation across the planet, and endanger any existing or future life on Mars. So, nuking Mars could have some serious consequences, but would there be any benefits? It may sound surprising, but some people believe there could be benefits to nuking Mars. So, let's delve into these potential benefits. One of the most intriguing is the prospect of creating a more Earth-like climate on Mars. This idea, known as terraforming, hinges on the concept that nuclear explosions could be used to release greenhouse gases trapped in the Martian soil. The subsequent warming effect could potentially make Mars more hospitable for human life. Another fascinating proposition is that nuclear explosions could be used to excavate the Martian surface. This could reveal valuable resources like water ice that might support future human missions or even colonization. Moreover, the sheer power of nuclear energy might be harnessed to propel spacecraft at unprecedented speeds, reducing travel time and making interplanetary travel more feasible. So, while the idea of nuking Mars might seem outlandish, it's not without its potential benefits. But the risks and ethical questions it raises are significant. Nuking Mars is a thought-provoking idea, but it's also a controversial one. We've explored the immediate aftermath, long-term effects, and potential benefits of such an action. It's a complex issue that involves not just scientific but also ethical considerations. Imagine the ripple effects of our decisions today on future generations. So, next time you gaze up at the red planet, remember, it's not just a rock in the sky, it's a world full of mysteries and potential. And it's up to us to decide how we approach it.